Five generations of Paperwhite and 11 generations of Kindle. When the Paperwhite came out, it was the e-reader. It became the benchmark standard for everyone in the e-reader game. Undoubtedly, the Paperwhite is the best model line out of all the Kindle models when compared to the Voyage, Basic, and Oasis. A premium e-reader at a bargain price, 32 gigs base storage, USB-C, Bluetooth for audiobooks, and a flush screen and bezel covering an HD Carta 1200 screen. Fully waterproof, and the first e-reader ever to use wireless charging built in. This is the Amazon Kindle Paperwhite 5 Signature Edition. So if you're on the latest firmware, this is the kind of home screen you're going to see. You're going to have home, library, and this is going to be a toggle between the two. So if you click on library, you're going to go just to your library, and home will be home. Alternatively, you can do the old school style and just click on library, in which case it's just going to automatically toggle you over to there. When you go to home, you might be thinking, wow, this is very nice that they're giving me only the things that are on my device and not trying to sell me things. They actually are trying to sell you things. If you swipe down, all of these are going to be internet services, so it's going to be recommendations based off of the things that you're reading, bestsellers, etc. But it's nice that they have it tucked away. Swiping down from the top, or you can tap the bar at the top, it will do the same thing. You have airplane mode, dark mode, sync, and all settings. We'll show you dark mode in a little bit. And you have your slider bar. We have had reports of people getting some hangs or some stalls when they turn off and on their warm lighting. It is going to have to come down to the actual unit you have because it does not seem to be part of the firmware. It seems to be a malfunction with the e-reader itself. You can click on here for auto brightness, which this device only has. The Kindle Paperwhite 5 does not have auto brightness based on the light sensor, and you can go to all settings to see more settings. Here you'll find your wireless, you'll find reading options, device options. This is relatively unchanged from previous generations. Manga looks fantastic on this unit. The increase from the 6 to the 6.8 inch screen size really has done it wonders. They have also brought over the engine from the 32 gigabyte Manga model built back in 2015, in which case you can actually hold and quick nav / fast nav through the device itself, controlling the percentage of speed at which you want the pages to turn. Very good feature that a lot of devices that are Manga curated, like even the Kobo lineup, don't have. Once you're here, because this is a manga and it's not a graphic novel, there are a little bit of a differences. You actually can't go into any sort of guided view or panel view of any kind. You can, however, pinch and zoom, in which case it does go into a faux A2 mode kind of thing, and then you can move it around like that. You do have to lift your finger in between the pinch and zooms. It's a small thing, but it bears mentioning because you have to let it render in between. But Manga does look very nice on this device overall. Would I recommend you use this with PDFs? No. Can it do it? Yes, it can, and it does it fairly well. Comparing to other devices in a similar price range, this actually does handle PDFs adequately. Now, you can't do any note-taking or scribbles or anything, and all scribbles are going to have to come from other devices like you see here. We can do some pinch and zooms, and it instantly comes up with a mini-map, and the mini-map is quite nice. It's a quick thumbnail of exactly what page you're on, and it's all very quick. You also have the ability to long press, which is very nice. So you can long press, and you get a lot of the same features as well. You get highlight, note, dictionary, Wikipedia lookup, and of course translate, where you can translate from any language to any language you see on this drop-down list. Because this is not a downloaded PDF from Amazon services in any way, there's no way to quickly turn pages other than just tapping really quick. And when it does take quite a while because it's trying to catch up to what page you're going to. And if you do long press, it's just going to search for text elements on the screen because it thinks you're trying to long press to maybe make a highlight. So the engine from the Manga experience does not carry over into the PDF. That being said, you do have some options up top with the AA button. You can change the orientation, the margins, and the overall contrast. This doesn't have a system-wide contrast for the UI, but it does change the PDF itself. After you have opened something, a little thumbnail of the cover art will show up in between the home and the library, and that will allow you to click on it and fast nav back to exactly where you were reading. Something else interesting you can do with this new firmware is show cover. So for example, we can go click on our manga, tap out of it, go home, see it on the bottom here when it updates, and then click Show Cover. It will show the cover of the thing that you were reading most recently. You can click out of it, press the lock screen, and now it'll be that cover of the manga as your standby screen. This is an e-reader first, foremost, and pretty much only, so let's see what the e-reading experience brings us. Navigation on the new Paperwhite 5 line is very quick. Response is very quick as well. You can tap like this, although there's no physical page turn buttons like the Kobo, so again, you can't fast nav, and in fact, if you long press, it's either going to do nothing or it's going to locate some sort of text and think that you're doing that. When you do long press, it's very nice and it's very easy and it's really quick. Even the anchor movement is just snappy. Highlight, notes, share is all the same. You can do translation, and why this is interesting is because you can translate just like the PDF, just like anything, but you can instantly break down any book into any language on the drop-down menu, and it's very, very fast. Changing text, you can go to the AA button right here. You can choose your own themes. You can go over to font, choose the boldness, the size, and the actual styles. There's no advanced menu, so you can't see a before and after, but it does update live in the background, so that's really nice. Orientation, alignment, margins, and spacing all update instantly. And if you go to more, you can actually go down here to page turn animations, and this was kind of a brand new thing in the most recent update. So when you go like this, you can swipe the page and you get this little wave that goes over, and this is because they're using the Carta 1200 screen. They're able to do that. Now, it's not a peak, so you actually can't peek like that, and in fact, after you've moved your finger an inch anywhere on the screen, doesn't have to be on the side, can be over there, can be in the middle, can be at the top, it doesn't matter. Once you've finished that, it's a trigger, so it's going to say trigger page turn, stop. So it doesn't matter what you do at this point with your finger because it's finished. Same thing goes backwards like that. You can tap as well and it'll do the same thing, but unfortunately it's not a page peel, nor is it a peek. Dark mode is a little bit interesting and it's very easy to get into, so what you do is just you tap here, click on dark mode, and you've now changed not only the book, but the entire device into dark mode. But there are some restrictions. You still get the little page turn animation, although it's harder to see, and it does work on basically any book. However, it will not work on manga. As you can see here, they do not flip it for you. They flip the background, but they won't flip the images. However, conversely, it does work on side-loaded content. As you see, everything's been completely reversed here. So it is kind of pick and choosy when it comes to the dark mode experience, but for the most part, it's much easier on your eyes. The store experience is going to look drastically different based on the region you are in. For example, our testing facility is in Japan, therefore we get the Japanese store. And it's catered differently, so they're going to have a lot of magazines. They're going to have Kindle Manga, for example. You go right over to Manga and you get all these different choices. You click on something and away you go. Your buying decision, however, is going to be very much the same as everyone else's. They try to keep it consistent. You're either going to buy it or try a sample. If you buy it, you instantly buy it. You get billed on your Amazon account. If you try a sample, it's going to download it to your home screen, in which case you can read 6 or 7 pages. So this is very exciting because it's the first time we're ever able to charge via wireless charging on an e-reader without any adapters. So you can see nothing is plugged into the unit, and we have a wireless charging Qi pad. So simply put it on there, and the top will turn into a lightning bolt, and it will say that it is charging. So this is really nice, but there is an efficiency thing because everyone says that it is less efficient to do wireless charging than it is to do a cable. There is some power loss, although it is very convenient because that's all you have to do is set it down. You will also notice the status indicator light on the bottom of the unit will turn on like so. So that is how you'll know you are charging. It may not be the most premium e-reader of all time, but it is employing some new firsts like wireless charging and an all-new screen size for Amazon. However, it's the Kindle. It'll sell. It'll be successful because it's good. It's the jacuzzi of hot tubs, the Kleenex of tissues, and the Band-Aid of bandages. From South Korea to Papua New Guinea, from Argentina to the Marshall Islands, when you hear the words e-reader, you think Kindle. For GoodyReader.com, this is Peter.